got 1, 2, 3. Technically we've got 2 NPCs, a mount, a familiar, a bunch of magic items, and a coffin. Not the first time you guys have carried dead bodies around. Are you still carrying another dead body? No.
No. You left it with Mary.
Maryvale, yep.
Maryvale.
Yes. But you do also have a talking weapon that you always forget about.
Yeah, Winrack.
Mm-hmm.
Much to his annoyance.
We love him, really.
Let me show I'm recording now. Yeah, I am. Okay. What? You got another thing? Jesus. I'm barely going to get any playtime. Yeah, exactly. All right. So you guys want to go out the way you think Cullen came in?
Right.
The way that he was heading when he was aborting his mission.
Yeah.
Leaving his girlfriend behind.
Mm.
I mean, he's evil, right? I mean, he's selfish. She can take care of herself.
Yeah.
You really
not, as the
ruined
case may be.
Cullen name.
Sorry? What?
You ruined the Cullen name.
The Ironhammer name?
No, Cullen. You haven't played Dragon Age Inquisition?
I think I might have played it a while ago, but I don't know.
Oh, you really ruined it. He's
yeah.
kindest dude, and you just ruined the name.
He's such
really?
He's such a sweet, sweet cinnamon roll.
Yeah. You ruined it.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No.
Or ironically, I'm not.
Honestly.
But he has Cullen with a C, so it's okay.
Well, that should have been your first clue.
Yeah. It's his alter ego. His evil twin.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
So you start walking down this path. Is there anything you guys want to do before you head out? Like, what's the setup? Walking through, line yourselves up on the map in the marching order. The path it starts off quite wide, but very quickly narrows and becomes some combination of either a tunnel with sort of, clearance of anywhere from 5 feet, so literally 5 feet high, to, sometimes 20 feet. And it narrows to less than 5 feet. So sometimes you have to squeeze through to, maybe 20 feet. And sometimes it's not a tunnel. Sometimes it's it becomes sort of a ledge. And there's not quite a cliff, but it's sort of a breakaway, and it, descends into what appears to be a scree that heads off into the darkness. It's so far out that even those of you with 60 feet of dark vision can't really see the bottom, so you don't know what it is at the end of it. Could be jagged stalagmites, it could be a river. You don't know. And there are also sections that are actually broken. So you have to actually find a way to jump across a gap.
With a coffin?
Well,
the coffin can just float over
of course, we've done floating disc, haven't we?
Yeah.
Well, so the thing about the floating disc, for those of you who have it, who's casting the floating disc and using it?
I believe I'm using it at the moment.
Okay. So would you like to share with all of us? Share the text?
Yep.
And
First, it only has a duration of an hour.
well, that's one thing, but can we all take a quick look at that just to remind ourselves what the limitations are of this spell? Because it's a great spell. I love it. I always take it. I always use it. But, it is a first level ritual, so there are lots of limitations on it.
Yeah. One of the biggest problems being the moment you go over a 10-foot pit, 10-foot deep pit,
Mm-hmm.
just it doesn't work. It
Mm-hmm.
drops to the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Absolument. Excellent.
I mean, that sounds unfortunate.
That sounds unfortunate. Oh no. And as you reach out feebly towards the coffin as it slides down this abyss. Oh no.
Oh no, the vampire. What a shame.
Oh, Clarissa, I'm so sorry. Oh well.
Remember to unlock it before it went down the cliff.
You actually
didn't
locked
lock it.
We
it?
didn't lock it
No,
to
we
start
didn't
with.
lock it. It was just a funny idea.
Yeah,
A little hardy har.
I know.
I feel like you guys have always been this questionable.
Don't know what to mean.
You're only realizing this now.
Like, this isn't new behavior.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've totally changed since the alignment change.
Yeah, totally different people.
And maybe that's why the DM wanted you guys to formally recognize your new alignments. I mean, you know,
We are.
I've
At some-
been trying.
at some point, torturing, you know, interrogation candidates to death is not really considered lawful good
And
by
you
most.
always come back to that.
This is why I always play chaotic neutral.
You kill one prisoner and they never let you go. They never let you
No.
forget it.
By accident, you know.
How do you
Wasn't the
actually
intent.
kill
I'd
someone,
like
Cora?
to be towards the back of the
Well,
merchant.
because I used inflict wounds, and the idea was that, you know, it would just, you know, hurt a hand. But unfortunately, I think I critted, didn't I?
Mm.
And that guy was a puff of dust.
Dang.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You were just
Yeah.
too good.
And he had
Cora got a bit of
kids.
a lesson there.
He had kids whose, you know, the wife and kids had to go into hiding because of it.
He'd attacked us.
He was-
What did
he
he
was-
expect me to do? Be nice?
He had already surrendered. You bound him. He was kneeling in front of you.
This is
Yeah.
one of those shucking buckets of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
He wasn't giving us any information. He just he was
It's 'cause he was
taunting
under
us.
penalty
Just
he was penalty under death for giving up information. And this is what I mean, right? Just to be fair, your justifications are perfectly rational justifications, but I think everybody in the room can see how this does sound like somebody who's not lawful good, but is
Oh, yeah.
somewhere between lawful neutral and lawful evil, justifying their behavior.
yeah.
Right? You've got your reasons, right? You've got your goal.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, there's a certain amount of moral ambiguity with respect to how one pursues it and what's important, right? Is the end,
Oh, absolutely.
you know. So
I'm
I think,
not trying to make a case for her being lawful good because she's not.
right.
Terrible. Terrible.
I mean, you know, I think you guys are or maybe it's just reflecting your real life characters.
Or maybe
See,
it's
how are
depicting
we
the people
getting
we'd
across
like to
this
be
gap?
if we could be free to do what we wanted to.
There you go.
Lessons.
Do what you want. Okay, so yes, Jessica is getting frustrated.
Yeah.
It's a narrow, crumbly, slightly ascending, your dwarf tells you.
Hmm.
Actually, as you stick a stubby finger up in the air. It is slightly ascending at a grade of 3.4%. Degrees.
And how far is this gap?
The gap is only about 12 feet, which is not insurmountable for many of you, but it is definitely going to be a bit more than some of you.
And
Yeah.
the drop.
Well, you're looking at a cliff that, you know, it's like I said, it's not an actual full-on cliff. So I don't know if you guys have ever done Mount Kilimanjaro or something, but the path itself is kind of worn into the side of the mountain, Kilimanjaro, obviously, but it's a similar concept here, except you're underground. And it's the whole side of it, above you and beneath you, is quite loose. Somehow, the continuous foot traffic has compacted this area a bit so that it's more stable. But as you get close to the edge, it just kind of crumbles away. And
How-
it's
I mean,
so
we do have a
far.
flying horse.
It's
Yeah.
so far that you cannot see the bottom with 60 feet of dark vision.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
Dallin can
how?
figure out her horse's abilities.
Well, I can also fly, so we could.
yeah, but
Between
my
the
horse
two of
can
us.
fly for free.
Yeah.
So
How much can it carry at once? So I'm just thinking of how long it would
Yeah.
take us to cross.
probably can take all of us normal people.
Well, it can fit 3 people on its back, right? So probably quite a bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
it carried both me and Satina,
Mhm.
or the other one that died. And I'm sure the nightmare can do the same. But you can fly.
But what are we gonna do about Clarissa?
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
think
How
the
heavy
the
is
horse
the-
would need to take somebody across, and then come back, and we'd have to somehow attach the coffin to the horse, assuming he can take the weight of both,
Mhm.
I mean,
to fly
Story-
that across, but have somebody on the other side to then take the coffin off. So you'd have to have 2 people taken over first that could handle taking the coffin off.
Story
So-
will knock on the lid of the coffin. Knock, knock, knock.
Yes. Mm.
We've got a big drop and a potential sudden stop. You might want to come out just for a little bit, just in case we can't get the coffin across.
All right. And she slowly climbs out of the coffin, adjusting her the handkerchief she uses as a dress, and says, "Really, can't you deal with this? You're brave adventurers. You've managed to defeat Salerno, the last of the Cyric priests. Surely a little gap in the road is no major hindrance to you."
You would
Oh,
think
no.
so, but chasms really aren't our specialty.
No.
I mean,
Also,
it's-
if we tried to carry the
Says the
coffin
dwarf.
across-
Yeah.
if we tried to carry the coffin across that gap, it would immediately just drop.
Yeah.
into the chasm
Well,
below.
I need my coffin, otherwise I can't go anywhere. I'm
Yeah.
tied to it.
You can certainly get back in it if you wish, and we will do our best to get it across.
It might be a bit easier to move the coffin and you separately.
And, well, but what's the plan for the coffin then?
Working on it.
Rissy.
I mean, we could just go back the way we came and try the other way.
Or we could get planks of wood and a ladder. That would
The
create...
inventory list from Salerno. It was a lot of planks. Wooden planks.
Yeah, we
create
could.
a bridge, and then the coffin could be carried across much
Yeah,
easier.
like if we make a bridge, does it no longer constitute a very long drop for the spell?
Well,
anything beyond 10 foot, it would.
yeah, but if it's plank under, it's solid.
Yeah,
then
so
it would
wouldn't
just
it be
float
considered
over.
the ground?
Yes, it would consider it the ground.
And now we're carpenters.
Yeah. No, I like this
Clarissa,
idea.
I don't suppose anybody has mold earth, huh?
No.
No.
Ooh, somebody did have mold earth.
I did in a dream once
I was
a long time ago.
Clarissa.
Your dreams of becoming a landscaper were unfulfilled.
Yeah. How deep and spiky does that cavern look to you down there? I don't know how good your night vision is, but I assume it might be better than mine.
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not 100% sure, so let me double check. I think it's 60 feet, but
We have wood in our inventory. You think we can use that?
and as soon as you say that, she goes, and she bares her fangs at you. Keep that away from me.
Oh,
They're not stakes, they're
The wood?
planks.
But
yeah.
it's supple.
No. I don't like wood, especially sharp wood. I draw
Is
the
it
line
sharp?
at toothpicks.
Yeah, want vampires and wooden stake.
I mean, if she thinks that she can get across with her coffin by herself without the wood, she's more than welcome to.
I have a question. Misty Step.
Mm-hmm.
When I Misty Step over, I carry with me my armor, my backpack, my weapons, everything. If I hold on to the coffin, would I bring that out over? It doesn't say anything about weight or anything.
Yeah, so that's a very good question. Generally speaking, these kinds of things, if they're objects, they would be part of your inventory. If you can carry them, then you can Misty Step with it.
Okay. How heavy is the coffin?
Ooh,
Oh,
excellent question. Does anybody know what a coffin? Maybe I shouldn't ask that, because if you do know, it probably is a bad reason.
It's kind of. Why do you know that?
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's of stone, isn't it? Stone coffin, or?
Well, it is an actual sarcophagus, so there's a bit of marble in there. Most coffins, my guess would have been most coffins are about 200 pounds, and I just did a quick Google foo, and I think that's about right.
I
But those are coffins
I
that are meant to be
Googled as
carried
well.
by a bunch of people.
I
So this is going to be a coffin that was. So technically, what's happened is this is a stone sarcophagus that was carved out, and it's lined with. Your best guess is it's lined with the remnants of the actual temporary coffin that was brought over by Salerno.
I've had a really dumb thought.
So it's 500 pounds,
Okay.
which is why you can carry it on your.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
I
a little less than 500 pounds. She weighs a bit as well, so it's about 400 pounds.
Yeah, but if she. Yeah, okay, 400, 200. I only can carry 204.
I've thought of something. What if you sat in the sarcophagus and Misty stepped across the chasm in the sarcophagus, like as if you were driving a car or something?
I think the same rules apply. If I can't carry it, I can't bring it with me.
Damn it, that would have been hilarious.
Because I mean, in theory, if that was the case, you'd Misty Step with every mountain you ever stood on, which would become very inconvenient.
You think?
It was a dumb
House!
thought.
You crushed my house! What the hell is the matter with you? My family's lived in that house for 15 years. It's the only hovel we've ever known.
It was a dumb thought that I just.
There's no such thing as a dumb thought.
Are we gonna try the planks of wood? Is that what we're?
So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
times
I think we should.
15
All right,
is-
so who wants to try to construct this wooden bridge, and how long do you plan to give it? Because it's not like building a bridge is going to be that easy, but you can certainly give it a try.
So I was thinking, we take the logs, right? Because it doesn't say how many logs we have. We tie them together with rope.
I have
And
a
then
full-on
at either side.
inventory.
It just says logs of supple
I
wood.
literally logs of supple wood.
In the Hangry Birds journal.
We've been carrying that all the time.
Where's that from?
I have no idea. It just says logs of supple wood. It's underneath bone dye.
It's
in the
before
items.
I am confused.
I think it's before I got here. So
Yeah, me too. So
Go.
They are loot goblins.
Any thoughts? Logs of supple wood.
but we could
Yeah,
go
I
back.
don't remember that.
I think that was before.
I can't even remember when you guys would have had logs of supple wood.
So we know that.
It's possible that they're twig blights. Is it high up in the journal, like at the beginning?
it's in like the top middle part.
Yeah, that's probably twig blights.
What does that mean? Like just like twigs?
Joe, do you want to fill them in? Do you remember this bit?
The twig blights are creatures that I can't remember how big they were.
They were small.
Yeah, there was something else that we fought at the same time that was bigger than them. That was twig-like. I can't remember what they were.
Yeah, well, there was also Gulthias and the Gulthias tree, but you thought it was Yggdrasil because it made people think that it was Yggdrasil.
Yes.
So there was a vampire buried underneath a tree.
That's how I know about vampires. And that's where we met Boobylicious, as I call her.
Yes, that's right. Yes. So the twig blights, aside from the fact that they are animated evil vegetation, also apparently are usable in a recipe for Susna paper by a doppelganger chef stroke entrepreneur who figured out that the world needed something to wipe their bums with other than leaves and twigs. And if you skin these really interesting twig blights, you could turn them into loo roll, but he called it Susna paper because he likes branding. So, and let's see.
Susna's awesome.
We've basically been carrying around
Dead creatures. Another corpse.
Oh, you guys have a load of crap.
Yeah, me too.
We have a necklace of teeth, I think, that we never really decided who.
Can I find a pebble or a rock?
Yeah. There were loads.
I'd like to just find one, and then I'd like to go up to Meridian and ask her if she could put her little light thingy on it.
That I could. Boop. Light.
And then I'd like to toss it down the hole and see if I can see anything as it goes down.
Bloop. It disappears, and you hear a little blooping sound, like maybe it fell into something like water or something else.
Was there any flash of color before it disappeared?
No, you could see the light was sort of shining as it would bounce along the edge of the scree, but then at some point it just faded out into blackness, and all you saw was blackness around it. So it was traveling for quite some time.
Okay.
Maybe.
Although it was illuminating only 40 feet, including the dim illumination. Is it 40 altogether for a light spell? I can't remember now. It's in the thing. Yeah, it's 40. Yeah.
40.
Although it was illuminating up to 40 feet, it also can be seen because it is a light source from much farther away. And it definitely exceeded your dark vision, but at some point it just disappeared.
Okay. Well, at least if somebody does slip and fall, I heard a bloop, so...
Yeah, it could be the River of Blood, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, just food for thought.
Really
I guess we need to go back
because the River of Blood isn't nasty.
Oh, those nasty are out there. River of Blood sounds quite nice. Just forget the world and just drift.
Yeah.
Honestly,
just
there's
hanging
much
out.
nasty you could fall into. Just drop another rock down the chasm.
How is there even a river of blood while we're on the topic? Like, if Syric's dead and not talking, why is the river Styx or whatever just flowing through this place? And, still doing so even after Salerno's dead?
Well, it isn't the river
you made
Styx.
it.
It's a river of blood with the water of the river Styx mixed in.
Ooh,
That's-
excellent questions.
Some of the
But it's got
properties
to-
of rivers of Styx.
But it's a river, so it's got to come from somewhere, and you'd think it would have to, run out at some point.
Yeah, maybe somebody should go investigate the source or the ending.
Then we need to go back.
We can go down the south of the mimic hole into the natural chasm.
Sure.
No.
I'll try
We're
that.
going back then.
So just to be clear, this is a sandbox thing. I'm not railroading guys. You guys can get out, and that bridge idea might work. There's also other ways you could potentially do it. I'm not trying to tell you guys you can't do it. I've
No,
got
but
Well,
both
it's just
prepared.
amusing. It was just a thought. It's
Right.
Talked about it, and I thought, it's just, it's a little weird. It's got to come from somewhere.
It does.
Yeah. I mean, there is another way we could get out, quite possibly.
get real
Um,
to say the incantation.
Yes, there's also digging our way out through the way that our dream selves entered.
Yeah, but that's where the river is. Then we need to go in the river.
I have a question
Fair point.
as far as, getting across the gap eventually. If we're making the bridge for the purpose of the spell, right? So the spell can travel over it. We could technically just, even if it isn't the most structurally sound, as long as it's a ground, we could have Vaxi take us over and then just have the coffin float over and ignore the risks ourselves of crossing the bridge, but still having a platform for the spell to function.
Yeah.
I mean, that would work, theoretically.
And we need Cud to jump over.
Yeah.
Because
Be
that
too
went
much of a big
so
deal
well
for him,
the
though.
last time.
That's true.
Well, we can tie him to the immovable rod on the other side. So if he falls,
Yeah.
he won't plummet to his death.
That's true.
Should we head back and find out about this river of blood?
Yeah.
It is quite unusual.
Down this way?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. And if he gets out that way as well, even better.
Yeah, it might be our way out.
It might be. Or it could be a dead end. But we won't know until we get there.
Might be safer. We don't know.
Yeah.
But if
Your dwarven stone sense would tell you that this is, if it's a dead end, it would be potentially quite far away. It doesn't look like it's the what you've seen of the stratigraphy in this underground cavern. The fact that there is a waterway, the fact that there are natural occurring caverns, the fact that you're on an island, and the fact that the island itself has quite a lot of limestone and other calciferous deposits strongly suggests that there's probably going to be other openings somewhere.
Okay.
It's, you may end up in a dead end eventually, but it doesn't feel like, it's not like a granite upthrust out of the middle of the ocean, right?
Right.
Head back, try a different route.
Worth a shot?
Maybe we'll find what's going on with this big river of blood.
maybe we can clear it, so
Or
nobody
even
else.
find the artifact that was supposedly hidden somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Two
Yes.
birds and one stone.
It's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys are going to go back all the way.
Go down the route
Rial's-
you want us to go down.
No, I really don't. Trust me, it'll be very entertaining whichever path you choose. I've got something, it's not that I'm planning it just to surprise you. There's a good reason why either of these things turn out the way they do. So, as always, Joe and the rest of you, the world has its own events. They're underway and they happen regardless of what you do. The only way you can stop something from happening or change the course is by interfering actively or choosing not to interfere actively. If you want to go to the surface, you absolutely can give it a try. I think that was a very clever suggestion, just out of metagaming. I think Emma's suggestion was very, very clever, and mechanically it does work. The spell does not specify the stability or strength of whatever surface the floating disc travels over. And since the floating disc itself is weightless, it basically it's like a hovercraft. It just has to read a surface underneath it. But technically, it doesn't actually have to worry about the physics of support. Well, hovercraft do, but the spell doesn't. So that there's a very good chance that would work. If you guys want to do that, you can absolutely do it. And there's something, you guys eventually will go someplace, and we'll see what happens there. You guys head down along the path. There's something else down there, and if you decide to climb down into the gorge and try to follow the river along the riverbank itself, there's a risk you might slip and fall into the river, but there's also definitely a path there, right? Because the river itself is going someplace. So, absolutely clear. You guys can choose whatever path you want, and there's definitely there's a lot of stuff going on around you because the world is a very busy, tumultuous place at the moment.
I have no preference.
So see what's down south.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as well. If we head back to where we were in the temple and try a different route.
Okay. I got it. I don't know. I think I'm just going to have to leave some of these icons behind because it's getting a bit cumbersome. Riel sees you, says, oh, don't make me kill you now.
Massive chasm in the path. We're trying a different route.
Oh, fine. But at some point, the programming kicks in and I just don't really have any say over it. Let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who am I missing?
Hey, now I'm over here. Boop.
Where? Oh, right. Mm-hmm. And we've got one vampire, this, and one Minotaur. Okay. You head down, and the path is. Satina can tell you that the way the path winds suggests that this was partly carved out by water. Possibly the water, the rainfalls that you saw. Possibly just, something else a long time ago. Could even be the ocean, for all you know. All right. 1 sec. And you guys. It takes about between the double back and the travel forward and further deeper to close to the end of your traveling day. And at this point, you realize that the river has doubled back, itself turned, and you are now standing along on what is essentially a sandy bank.
Oh, nice.
You can see the bodies and also what appear to be apparitions as the river has gotten wider and more powerful, this has picked up. It's becoming overpowering here, but it's also very hot. The color is inconsistent, so sometimes it's very dark, lighter. It is always a bit pinkish. In the dark, unless you're casting the light spell. Is Meridian casting the lights cantrip? Okay, so you'll be able to see the color. You'll be able to see the color, but in the darkness with dark vision, as you all know, you only have shades of gray.
Mm-hmm.
Can you all see the map?
Yes.
No, I can't.
All right. Who? Emma?
Yeah, I can't.
Okay, let me change that for you. It's because you are
I'm blind.
You are blind. Oh, poor you. I'm going to give you 40. Is that better?
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Black screen. Oh, wait, there we are. Got it.
Oh, it just had to update. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to give you light emission. Okay. And there's also this faint sound. It sounds a little bit, aside from the sounds of, water or liquid lapping at the shores, there is also this consistent beating sound, almost like if it was a large living heart.
Gross.
Be able to tell like which direction it's coming from, or is it just kind of like
All around.
there?
It's pervasive, yeah.
Okay.
You can try a perception check to see if you can discern exactly where it's coming from.
Okay.
But it's definitely all around you, and it's also thrown off a little bit by the echoing and the sounds of water.
We all do a perception check?
You can all do a perception check. It's my way of telling you it's a high DC.
That's an unnatural 20.
Who had a natural 20? You had a natural 15.
Yeah, it was a 15 plus.
You lied.
I said unnatural 20.
Okay. 27, 13, 17, 19, 19. Yeah, hard to tell.
Okie dokie.
Can you guys actually hear the beating heart?
It's, no.
No?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. What happened? Technology, eh?
Mm.
It's
Gotta love
wonderful
it.
when it works, but it's an absolute pain in the ass when it doesn't.
For sure. Well, it says it's supposed to be beating. Okay, well, never mind. It's there. Ba-dump. Ba-dump. Thank you. Was that Emma?
Nope.
No, that's just me.
Oh, Jessica. Thank you. Yes. Okay, so the river is moving at a faster pace than it was up higher up in the temple. And as these spirits go by, some of them seem to stare at you. It's hard to tell if they actually see you or if they're just their faces, whatever they might be, or just sort of angled toward you. Occasionally, one or two of them let out a moan. And then they roll over again and their heads disappear underneath the liquid.
That's not unsettling at all.
Yeah, right.
Quite lovely.
Perfectly normal.
Just keep walking. Just keep walking.
You're the door of the group.
Where did we come from? Did we come from the top or the left side?
You came down from here.
Okay.
You came down this path.
So we could just go out. We don't have to go to the right. Could go to the left if that is presumably potentially the way out. Just a thought.
We can explore.
We could always check to see which way the air's with a torch.
Or
I mean, if the river flows towards the ocean, if it worked like a normal river, then we would go to our right, the left. Ugh.
You're talking about a river of blood mixed with the waters of the river.
she knows what she's saying.
Yeah. If it works like a normal river. Presuming it works like a normal river.
Presuming it rolls downhill to the ocean.
Exactly.
If it starts flowing upwards, then probably best to walk in the opposite direction, but...
Yeah, but I mean, like, that probably isn't our first thought of being like, I wonder if this river is going the opposite way of nature's intention.
Can we start walking in the direction that the river is flowing in?
Sorry, do you mean you want to follow the flow of the river?
Sticking to the riverbank, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll be going from right to left on the screen. It does seem to be heading, well, as was discussed, it does seem to be heading towards the downhill. So you'll be heading a little bit further down.
Maybe we should go against the flow.
Maybe we should.
Won't that just put us back in the chasm? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
We could go neither way and go down.
Or you could just walk into the river.
Oh yeah, just walk right in. Take a bath.
Try that. Yeah.
All right, let's just pick a direction.
Does anybody
Toss
have a coin?
I don't have a
Let's
coin.
all have coins. You guys are...
We're loaded.
My God, yeah.
I'm not. I do have a D20 that lights up.
I don't think that's a coin, dude.
We can always call even or odd.
Even left, odd right. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah.
Sure.
Cool.
Roll it in real life or on 20.
I like the sound of your dice.
Yeah. That is 3.
That's even. That's to the left.
3 is odd.
Yeah.
Oh.